Welcome back to the Fight Book UFC fans. I just woke up and realized there were no big fight announcement last night, yesterday. But we have news from 11 new upcoming fights, including Robert Whittaker, Dan Hooker, and some new fight announcements, etc. And as usual, let's go in a chronological order. First, we have a fight announcement for UFC 314 card, April 12, Miami, headlined by Volkanovski versus Diego Lopez, and a co-main event, Michael Chandler and Paddy Pimblett. It's Nora Cornoli versus Haley Coven. I don't know. You maybe doesn't like this fight, and maybe you don't know who these girls are, but this fight was scheduled at UFC 315 and it is now moved to UFC 314. I don't think anyone gives an F about this fight, so let's move towards the next one, which is a good one. This past weekend, you saw UFC Seattle, where Modestas Bukauskas and Ion Cutelaba both had great performances, and you're gonna like that they have signed bout agreement against each other just 3 to 4 days after their fight at UFC Seattle. So basically, Ion Cutelaba is going to take on Modestas Bukauskas at UFC 315 Montreal, Canada, May 10th. Next, on May 17th, UFC is going to Qatar in UAE, and we have a heavyweight fight announcement. Sergey Spivak, he is, I think, a top 10 heavyweight, and Shamil Gaziev, he would also be a ranked fighter, because I don't think UFC have many fighters. Basically, they have only 27 to 28 heavyweights, so every heavyweight gets ranked when he wins. So Sergey Spivak will take on Shamil Gaziev at UFC Qatar. Let's hope it is not a man event. Then next, June 28, UFC 317 International Fight Week. Yes, we have news from International Fight Week. First news basically from International Fight Week, and that is Robert Whittaker versus Sean Strickland. That big middleweight fight is in works for UFC 317 at International Fight Week. News are that before Sean Strickland versus Dricus du Plessis 2, UFC had planned that if Sean Strickland loses, he is gonna take on Robert Whittaker, and this fight is now heading towards UFC 317. Next news is also from UFC 317, but it is not that big. It is not small as well. Dan Hooker, who pulled out from UFC 313 against Justin Gaethje because of his hand injury, which is not very severe, so he is eyeing to return on UFC 317 card on International Fight Week. Let's hope he gets his place on that card. Now, Mike Davis, a UFC lightweight prospect, he's a good fighter. He tweeted that he has a fight news coming soon. Basically, he has signed bout agreement, and we don't know yet who against whom he signed it, but we may know tomorrow or today. Whenever we get the news, I will tell you. Stay subscribed. Then lastly, we have 4 call-outs. Three call-outs. Ludwig Klein called out Mateusz Gamrot via Twitter, saying that blah blah blah, whatever. You can read it on the screen. I'm not gonna read it the whole tweet. Then Yusuf Salal interested in fighting Arnold Allen next. Both are lower rank. Ludwig Klein is unranked, Yusuf Salal is lower ranked, and they just want to climb up the rankings, so they are calling out those who gets a higher number with their name. Then Charles Oliveira calls for some clarity on his next fight in a post on Instagram. He thanked Dana White and Sean Shelby and says, I'm just a phone call away. Basically, he also wants a fight. So let's see if he can get a fight. And we do get the fight news of Charles Oliveira soon. And that's all. I am not gonna waste your more time. I'll see you tomorrow on the same time to tell you whatever happened in the UFC related to upcoming fights. Bye bye.